So I think what you need to understand is that you are going to be on stage more than you have been before, whether you like it or not. Now, you have some control over the amount of time you spend on stage, right? So that if you're someone who seeks the limelight less as a CEO, for example, you have some control over that. But you don't want to fool yourself that you're not really basically being observed a lot of the time. You have fewer unguarded moments. People are going to be paying much more attention to you typically than they do otherwise, because you really are the focal point for the organization. You need to exert some control over what you're saying, doing, being perceived. You need to be self-conscious about it, but you also need to be authentic about it, right? And so how do you balance those things? It's very challenging, right? I mean, if you don't have an authenticity that's an attractive one, you're going to struggle. Let's face it, right? But most of the people that get to senior executive levels have some measure of interpersonal attractiveness that they can draw upon, right? And I think that it really is a matter of understanding how do you prefer to communicate, right? What are the core messages that you want to communicate to the organization about who you are? Right? To what degree can you perhaps bias yourself a little bit in one direction or the other? What are some things that you might normally have said that you shouldn't really be saying anymore, like the musing? What are some things that you need to emphasize more than you did before? What's the right kind of presence? Because I think executive presence really is at the core of what it means to exert a lead role. I think it also means understanding the kinds of fora within which you are most effective and not effective, right? So having that self-consciousness, beginning to really think through how do I communicate effectively to the organization, and then just not, assuming that you can have the sort of unguarded moments that you would otherwise. What you want to recognize is that you're going to come with certain strengths in some and not others. It's not like every one you're going to start at the very beginning, right? You may have some pretty good capability and experience as a strategist, but you may never have played the lead role piece, right? You may be reasonably effective as an integrator, but not have done a lot of diplomatic work. So part of it is really, first of all, baselining where you are in terms of your capabilities. And this is one reason, as part of the new PED program, that we're developing an assessment instrument, a 360 instrument, that will help you get some insight into which of the shifts are the most important for you, because that really then will help you focus in on what you need to pay attention to. And as you pay attention to it, part of it's going to be about getting the right experiences to help, okay, I need to understand more about the external environment. I'm going to start trying to get involved with that a little bit more. Part of it could be, look, I need to get some of that acting training and media relations training to really make me more effective in doing that. Or it could be, look, I need to understand a little bit more about a couple of functions that I don't really understand enough about. But I would say don't panic, right? I mean, it doesn't have to happen all at once. It doesn't mean that you're not coming at it with certain bases already in place. But it does provide a framework for assessing yourself and beginning to think about developing a pathway that's really going to take you forward to being an effective enterprise leader.